New study suggests that morning people are generally happier than those who prefer nighttime. That's according to life science researchers studied the habit of two groups, young adults and older adults. They found that nearly everyone considers themselves to be a morning person by the time they turn 60. Only 7% of younger group identified themselves as morning people, whereas only 7% of the older group identified themselves as night owls. Overall, the older adults reported greater positive emotion than younger adults. Morning-type people also tend to say they felt healthier than did the night owls. Possibly because they get better sleep. The night owls were also prone to what researchers call social jet lag, absolutely, meaning they probably still had to get up early for work, but were unhappy much of the day because of the lack of sleep. Absolutely.
Exactly.
We know all about that.
I know, we're all birds.
You know, and whether it was this job or other jobs that we did, you know, everybody works these crazy shifts.
Exactly, exactly. And I think a lot of it has to do with even the sun being out.
Definitely.
I know if the sun is out, I feel more awake, I want to do more things, I want to enjoy being outside, as opposed to, okay, now you're up all night. Maybe you're hanging in a little bit more, you're not doing as many things, maybe you do just seem, you know, lethargic a lot of the time because
think about what you do at nighttime. You know, in the morning and in the daytime, you're out, you're probably outdoors being physical, and at nighttime, you're generally eating, drinking, watching a movie. You're not really being physical, and if you are social with people, it's all dark places, or it's inside the home, and it may be a little comfy, but you're not being physically active.
I mean, my last job, I used to get up at 3:30 in the morning. Now it's 5:30. So, you know, I mean, you wouldn't think that the 2 hours actually make a difference, but they do make a difference.
They do.
And then we also know a lot of people who work, you know, third shift, which is just, that is just an awful,
that's the tough one.
It's a tough shift to work because you can never catch up. You know, rest of friends and family may be going out, and you're stuck in that third shift of, you know, going to sleep at 7 o'clock at nighttime or even earlier. It always throws the body off, no matter how much, you know, you try.
And it is, you know, being someone who always wakes up early in the morning, you do often talk to people who may not necessarily be a morning or a night owl, just kind of the medium owl, and but they can't understand how happy we are in the morning, and really, you just get your body in sync with it. But do you think that people who are night owls really are that much more sad than us?
You know, I think that study is right, that they just, you know, it's basically, you know, knowing that they're up till like 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning, knowing they may have to get up and go to work the next day, probably throws off your psyche as well. And then you get into work and you're just like, you know, you're dragging, you can't catch up.
Exactly, you're just looking to get out of there and do something else. And they're saying too that, you know, they found basically everyone considers themselves a morning person by the time they turn 60. And I'm pretty sure that I've read something saying the older that you get, the less that you sleep. It just so happens to be that way. So maybe that's it. Maybe, you know, they're older and they're getting more sun, they feel energized. I don't know what it is.
I know a lot of older people who are up at like 4 o'clock in the morning.
I hear you.
What are you doing? What are you doing if you don't have to?
They can't eating dinner anymore.
They're eating dinner. They may be. Yeah, they may be.
They're seizing the day. I think that's it. You know, we wake up with the sun and we're ready to tackle the day. My poor husband is a night person, and he hasn't been since I've gotten this job. So I've been waking him up, and he is not happy.
No.
He is not happy for the first half of the day. The poor thing.
Yeah, all these people who work, you know, these crazy shifts, you know, people who work at hospitals, or, you know, firemen, policemen, who, you know, or even people who actually work in this building. It's hard for them to, you know, it's hard to have a social life because your friends may be going out at 7 or 8 o'clock at night, and you're sound asleep knowing, you know, that you gotta work in just a few hours.
I will say though, when I am up at night, that's when I am the most creative, especially as a musician. If I'm performing late at night, or if I'm operating music, it probably is.
Yeah, you get slap happy.
You're right.
Well, I'm interested to see if, you know, it's not just us that are affected by this study. So let's check in with our Facebook friends.
Well, we asked our Facebook friends, who, mind you, are up at 7:30 in the morning, so they might be morning people, to see what they thought. So Dean Harrington says that he was a night owl for 30 years, then became a morning person. No comparison, mornings rule. That's right, buddy.
That's it.
Patrick Keogh tells us that it may be strange, but he's actually both. Of course, being retired might have something to do with it.
Yeah, there's no worries. You can just
enjoy life.
Yeah, you just do your own thing.
Teresa Mahoney says, my husband is a morning person and I'm a night owl. He's so happy in the morning that I usually want to punch him in the face. But she doesn't, so that's good.
Good to know.
Yeah, please don't.
Don't do that.